On the edge of Blackwood Forest stood an abandoned orphanage that had been empty for over 50 years. The building was surrounded by dead trees, broken fences, and thick fog that never seemed to disappear. Every villager knew the same warning passed down from their grandparents. Never open the red door in the basement. Nobody knew what was behind it. Some believed it led to a hidden tunnel, while others claimed it was the prison of something ancient and evil. Every person who had tried to open it had either disappeared forever or returned completely insane. 28-year-old Ryan Foster was an investigative journalist who specialized in exposing myths and haunted places. Unlike everyone else, he believed every ghost story had a logical explanation. When he heard about the abandoned orphanage, he packed his camera, flashlight, voice recorder, and laptop before driving to Blackwood. The villagers begged him not to enter. An old woman grabbed his arm and whispered, "You can explore every room if you wish, but whatever happens, don't open the red door." Ryan smiled politely. "I don't believe in curses." As the sun disappeared behind the forest, Ryan entered the orphanage. The wooden floors creaked beneath every step. Dust floated through the cold air, and faded paintings of smiling children still hung on the cracked walls. Everything looked abandoned, yet something felt strangely alive. He switched on his camera and began recording. Tonight, we're exploring the famous Blackwood Orphanage. Locals believe an evil force is trapped behind a mysterious red door. Suddenly, a child's laughter echoed from somewhere upstairs. Ryan rushed toward the sound. The hallway was empty. Only a small red ball slowly rolled across the floor before stopping at his feet. He looked around. Nobody. Trying to stay calm, he continued exploring until he found a staircase leading into the basement. The air instantly became colder. Each step echoed unnaturally, as though someone else was walking beside him. Then he saw it. At the end of the hallway stood an old crimson-colored wooden door. Unlike everything else in the building, the paint looked fresh. It almost seemed wet. Above it, written in black letters, were the words, "Don't open the red door." Ryan laughed nervously. Someone clearly wanted to scare visitors. As he reached for the rusty handle, his voice recorder suddenly turned on by itself. A whisper filled the silence. "Please, don't." Ryan quickly checked the recorder. No audio file existed. His flashlight flickered. The hallway became completely silent. Then, 3 loud knocks came from the other side of the red door. Knock, knock, knock. Ryan stepped backward. His heart pounded. There has to be someone inside. Ignoring every warning, he slowly turned the handle. The heavy door creaked open. Beyond, it wasn't another room. It was complete darkness. A darkness so deep that even his flashlight couldn't reach the end. Cold air poured out like icy breath. Then dozens of pale hands slowly emerged from the darkness. Ryan slammed the door shut. His breathing became frantic, but it was too late. Something had already escaped. The lights throughout the orphanage suddenly switched on. Children's voices echoed through every hallway. Footsteps surrounded him. Tiny footprints appeared across the dusty floor, forming one after another, as though invisible children were walking all around him. Ryan ran upstairs. Every hallway had changed. Doors appeared where none had existed before. Windows disappeared. The building had become a maze. Behind him came slow footsteps. Not children's footsteps, heavy ones. Each step shook the floor. Ryan looked back. At the end of the corridor stood a figure nearly 8 feet tall. Its skin was completely black, as if made of smoke. Its face had no eyes, only a massive smiling mouth filled with long yellow teeth. It tilted its head unnaturally, then smiled even wider. Ryan sprinted through the hallway. Every room now contained dozens of ghostly children silently staring at him. None blinked, none moved. They simply watched. As Ryan reached the main entrance, the front door refused to open. He kicked it repeatedly. Nothing. The giant creature slowly approached. The ghostly children suddenly pointed toward the basement. Together they whispered, "You opened it." The creature let out a deep growl that echoed through the walls. Ryan remembered the old woman's warning. Maybe the door wasn't keeping people out. Maybe it had been keeping something inside. Desperate, Ryan raced back into the basement while the monster followed. The red door remained wide open. Darkness continued pouring from inside like living smoke. Ryan noticed dozens of strange symbols carved around the frame. He quickly realized they weren't decorations. They were seals. When he had opened the door, he had broken them. Searching frantically through the basement, Ryan found an old leather journal belonging to the orphanage's priest. Inside was one final instruction. Only blood freely given can restore the seal. Without hesitation, Ryan cut his palm with broken glass. He pressed his bleeding hand against the symbols. The carvings began glowing bright red. The creature screamed so loudly that every window shattered. The ghostly children smiled for the very first time. One by one, they faded peacefully into the light. The darkness was pulled back behind the red door. With a thunderous crash, the door slammed shut by itself. Silence returned. Ryan collapsed onto the cold floor. Morning sunlight streamed through the broken windows. Police officers later found him unconscious outside the orphanage. When Ryan recovered in the hospital, nobody believed his story. His camera contained only static. His voice recorder held a single sentence spoken by dozens of children's voices at once. "Thank you, but never come back." Months later, the government demolished the orphanage. Workers claimed there had never been a basement beneath the building, only solid earth. Yet before the final wall collapsed, one construction worker reported seeing a perfectly untouched red door standing alone underground. It had no walls, no building around it, just the door. On its surface, fresh black letters slowly appeared as everyone watched. "Don't open the red door." The next morning, the worker who had reported seeing it vanished without a trace. The red door has never been found again. But deep in Blackwood Forest, travelers sometimes claim they see a lonely crimson door standing between the trees on foggy nights. Those who hear 3 knocks from the other side are said to have only one chance to survive. Walk away, because some doors are not meant to be opened.